I've got two dollhouses in my sick bay, if you like, at the moment, and I thought I would intersperse some of the remedial work I'm doing on them with my Tudor mansion to give myself a bit of a break, actually, because I'm getting a bit sick of brown and black paint. And so I thought I would just show you how I deal with these houses. Now, you have seen this house up in previous videos when I've gone around my studio. And this one was a dollhouse that was built out of an old Tudor, I've got Tudor on my mind, you see. It's really important that I keep my sanity here. It's made from an old cedar chest. And it's 10th scale, so it's a totally different scale. Now, this one here was a house that my mother bought, and it'd been built by somebody for their daughter. And it was in scale. It did have some very basic windows, and it's very deep, and it was very heavy. So in the end, she couldn't manage it, and I ended up with it. And so what I'm planning on doing is upgrading it and putting in different windows. And also, it's got two very deep floors. Now, I'm going to deal with these in a bit of a novel way and take you on the journey. So that should be interesting. So this is in complete contrast to my Tudor houses. Now you can see what I do is I pop things into the house that I think I might be using later. And then I have to clear it all away when I'm working on the house. Now the windows were these kind of routed out windows, and they were like this on the outside too, so just rounded corners. And so what I've done is I 3D printed some frames, and I print two, and I sandwiched some clear acetate between them, and then I put them in the windows, in the window frames. And so all the framing has all been done, it's all new, and I haven't done some of the inside framing because I'm waiting to work out what I'm going to be doing at the end of that room. I didn't want anything protruding out of the edges for the moment. So all that's new, and it's in keeping with the house. Now this house wasn't a historic house by any means. I didn't have to worry about mucking around with it. It didn't have anything special. It was just a very plain dollhouse. And so I've got a free rein on that. Now with the 1930s house, it had original wallpaper in the rooms, and I didn't want to lose that. And this is, if you've got an older house and you don't want to muck around with it too much, you can do uninvasive things to it to improve it. I would always suggest you do try and maintain the wallpapers in the painting if you can. I mean, these you'll never find again. And it had some really nice carpet. I'm a bit constricted with space here, but I'll show you. The carpet was a 1930s carpet, and I did wash it carefully and it came up really well, so I'm glad I managed to preserve that. Now, by contrast to this house, which I'm going to be very careful with, but also bring it up to date, this little house here that most people would recognise as a Triang, and it's a number 53. I found this in a junk shop in a very sad state. The cardboard roof had rotted, and it was rusty, and the door was warped badly. It's still not terribly good. And I had to decide what I wanted to do with it, because I knew the value of Triang houses, but this one had no value because of its terrible, sad state. So what I did was I took a pattern of the roof and I replicated it in the same weight cardboard, painted it the same colour, and I made a new chimney for it and put it in exactly the same place as the old one would have been. And the carcass I stripped right back to the bare bones. I took the wood back and I took the tin back, but I kept the little Triang symbol. I made sure that it was damaged a little bit when I got it, but I kept that, so I haven't painted over that. But I took all the rest of the colour off the tin and I re-sprayed it with cream paint. And I redid the base, which wasn't damaged, And so I brought it back to a pretty good state. The wallpaper was just not really there. I think there's a bit of original there, and there might be, yes, and there's some original in the kitchen, and the flooring was original. And I've just put a little bit of felt down there for a carpet for the lounge, but everything else is original. But this paper here, I did. So it was a combination of keeping the originality where you could and not destroying anything that couldn't be redeemed, and making it something that people could enjoy. And I've enjoyed fitting out this little house in a very whimsical way. You haven't got to see this before because it's been on a high shelf. And I made an interesting little gas oven in the back there. So I've had fun fitting this out. And I think I've done a sympathetic job on the restoration. So that's what it's all about, basically, is maintaining the right balance and not being afraid to do things. And so I'm just going to, over the next couple of days when I'm doing my boring Tudor stuff, painting lots of things brown and black, also start working on these very deep rooms to try and make something out of them. So let's hope you enjoy it.